everyone, today I'll be reviewing this new show on Netflix. It's called Chestnut Man, and this is a Danish show, and it is kind of like a murder mystery thriller type show. If I have to compare what is this show is, it's mainly a kind of like a catching a serial killer, I guess, but not the kind of traditional killer we have seen. It's a little bit, there is a twist at the end. So I must say that how the show started out, like this family is getting brutally murdered in their farmhouse. When the show opens with that, I was like, oh, what I'm watching? The way the show started, like this police is just going to that house by himself. I really thought he's gonna get killed. The way the show started, but he doesn't. So after that, in the present time, you see two detectives. One is Naya and the other one is Marquez. They're investigating all this murder is happening. Like all these women, they're getting killed and leaving them. Someone is killing them and leaving them in playground, and also leaving a chestnut man beside them. And somehow all this killing is linked to a politician. Kids who got killed and kidnapped and got killed a couple of years ago, they're all linked to that. So this is basically a kind of like murder mystery show. So this show mainly centers around these two detectives, Naya and Has. So I have to be honest here, I thought the Naya detective lady who played in this show, I thought her character was so bland. Like the face like she has throughout the show, I thought she was really very bland character. She has nothing going on that you will feel interested to root for her. Like end of this show, like, and the way she was acting, like before even getting all the clues, she knew what is happening exactly. And I'm like, this show never gave me any reason to believe she's so good at her job. Then I was like, how does she know all these things? Because she doesn't look like she's very competent at her job. So that was my problem with this character at the beginning of the show. And the second character is Hess. So I must say Hess' character was quite interesting because he's trying to figure out what is happening. And he looks like he did care about all these people and why they're getting killed. So for that reason, I'll say Hess' character was very well done, that you root for him to find out what is happening. On the other hand, this detective lady's character was like, she's just there to do her job. She has a daughter. She looks like she care or maybe not care because she's always leaving her behind. Again, the way her character was written is very like you don't feel for her, but this show asks you to feel for her. End of this show. So I have seen many Criminal Mind type show, and so that's why I will say this show, watching this show, it's extremely slow paced show. And the first episode starts with like extremely slow, all the dragged scene in the show. Really, I got bored. I was like, what am I watching here? Like this, all the clue the killer left behind. It's not that hard to get them and like figure out 2 + 2 is 4, but like the way this show takes all this clue, make it too serious and complicated. That's why I feel like the way this show was done, I did not like it at all. That being said, yeah, I did like, I guess, the middle part for this show. I would say it got little interesting when all these other things was going on, and this. So this show tried to show you all this victim perspective. Mainly it is tried to show you, but whenever show try to show you too much about the victims, what about the killer, the guy we are watching this show for? How about him? Shouldn't we be focusing on that? That is how normally all the serial killer show goes. But in this show, you actually don't focus on that. You focus on that victim's family, how they are feeling, what they are doing. I found that very frustrating because end of the day, when the show was done, I felt like I didn't get enough information about this killer. Like there was information, but not enough. Like, how did he did that? How did he did that? Like, how is that make any sense? Because that's how you will feel end of this show, because it's only 6-episode show. Although it's 6 episodes, but still when I was watching, I felt like I was watching something very long show. All the pacing in this show is really very boring and pointless. At the end of this show, I felt like and nothing was interesting about this show. And last episode is, because on normal the last episode they reveal everything. So last 2 episodes, Like the fifth episode was, I guess, a little bit interesting, but the sixth episode, I would say, the way it was done, especially this Hash character, he was getting hit repeatedly in the show. How many times someone knocked him out and he was okay the next scene? No bruise, nothing on his face. He was just okay. Like in one scene that this guy, he just kicked him so many times. He should be like have some kind of broken rib or something. In the next scene, he was okay. I was like, yeah, there is some scene that makes you feel uncomfortable. But whenever watching any psychological thriller or any serial killer show, you have this kind of abusive scene or this kind of like child abuse stuff. These are normal thing. Any serial killer show you watch, it has them. So it's not very, for me, it wasn't any brutal like some people are saying here. I thought it was like the way the last episode was ended, like when we learned the Haas, spoiler from now on, when we learned that Haas is actually, sorry, not Haas, what was his name, sorry, like David something his name. Anyway, this David character, when we at the end we find out like he is behind all this killing because he once lived with the foster home and all this thing they really reveal, and he's the owner of the farmhouse. I was like, it wasn't that interesting, honestly. I found it personally because I saw that coming. Like I didn't see he was the killer coming. I meant like the farmhouse, everything all related, because that's how the show was set up, I guess. The ending was definitely very satisfying, but going there, all this episode, you have to sit through all this pointless conversation and clue. End of all, this show felt like pointless, honestly. That is how I felt, especially when I think about it's a serial killer show type show here. That's why I will say this show is not as good as everyone is saying here on, I see on YouTube. So many people likes it. I thought it was really very not that good. Anyway, that's my thought on this show. Let me know in the comment what you think about this show, and if you enjoyed my review, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to leave your comment, and please take care.